Hardcore World of Warcraft is a sadistic experience.
But I like it.
If you're here, you probably already know what it's all about. It's WoW Classic, but if you die once, your character is gone forever. Worst yet, no auction house, no grouping with high-level characters, and no mailing golden items. It is a brutal, scary, and lonely experience. But when you get to 60, you become an immortal. Now I want to get to 60, but I actually have no idea if I can do it at all. So here's episode 1 of Hardcore 64. Hello everyone and welcome to Hardcore 64. This is your man boy Acid Ketchum here. Now if you're here, you're probably familiar with Hardcore World of Warcraft, but maybe you don't know that there are two character classes that stand head and shoulders above the rest, and that is the Paladin and the Hunter. The Paladin gets the best armor in the game, Blessing of Protection, Divine Protection, and Divine Shield, which will completely protect you from death and damage just long enough for you to use your Hearthstone. It is like God herself drooled her protective phlegm onto your body and chose you to be her booger queen. I don't know what the fuck that means. And as for the Hunter, you get pets, so you have your own private tank. You can get up to mail armor later, so you have a decent, okay protection. Plus, you get Feign Death, and Feign Death will just completely drop aggro and keep you alive. But you don't get that until 30. Then there are two classes that are dick and balls beneath the others, and those are the Rogues and the Warriors. Warriors are really gear dependent, and when you can't use the auction house, they can really suffer. And Rogues are stupid little sea cows, because all they do is try to gank me like a little bitch. All they can do is PvP. Both of these two are melee fighters with no healing and no sustainability, and they don't really have those buttons that you press when you're going, oh shit, that will just immediately save you. All of the classes and races are not created equal in Hardcore WoW. And I don't want to just keep playing the good classes or the good races. I want to have a big variety. It is for this reason that I have decided to completely randomize my race and class selection. That's right, every time I die in a hardcore character, my next character will be randomly selected, and I will need to take that character as far as I can go. So on my first character here, without further ado, we are going to roll, and I get a 4, which is going to bring me down to the gnome. I'll roll a d6, and I get a 5, which is going to be that Gnome Hunter, which I believe is a turtle exclusive. So let's see, how do we want to make this guy look? Oh, I like this. He kind of looks like a hipster gnome. Like, I feel like he'd be like, I only do farm to table blunderbuss. And what are we going to name this guy? How about Catmandu? How about Catmandu? We are here at level 1 with Catmandu, my Gnome Hunter, and we're going to start hardcore off by talking to the mysterious stranger. And I do want to go over what he says exactly, just to start us off, because I believe this is a Turtle WoW exclusive. So he kind of goads you into like taking this hard path of glory, and he's like, oh, you seek to prove yourself to your people, no? To rise above all others as the strongest? No? To leave behind a legacy of courage and heroism, rather than to fade from history as yet another wanderer of no consequence? And then he goes on, kind of egging you on, and he's like, complete this quest to become mortal. In this mode, you only have one life, and can only trade and group up with other mortal players. If you die, you shall not return again. Customer service will not revive you under any circumstance. I think it's hilarious that they have to specify customer service there, because I think it's the only time I've ever seen in World of Warcraft where they break the third wall like that. I just love that they have to be like, we are never going to bring your character back on no terms. And it's just hilarious because they kind of do this whole painting of like your soul is severed from your body. And in this metaphor, right, the player is the soul of the character that is the body. So it's saying when you become mortal, your soul is severed from your body. What they mean to say is you will no longer be able to play this character. But then right at the end, they're like, and customer service is not going to help you. just break all the metaphor. There are times on this server, and I'm sure on other servers, where there are like lag spikes or the servers go down or somebody's internet goes out. And during like a lag spike, you'll just see world chat just fill up with deaths of hardcore characters. Easily 6 to a dozen per lag spike. That's it. Like, they're gone. It doesn't matter that it was on the server, that the internet went down, anything. Customer service under no terms will bring your character back. The next thing I want to talk about in the level 1 area here is I do love the beginning of Classic WoW. And it's because they don't treat you as special, and you're really not. I mean, like, you're literally one of millions of people. And when you start off the quest here, look at this guy. He's like, what do we have here? A poor peasant gnome, freezing out here in the cold. You know what? Why don't you go get me some dinner? And I've got some crap around here you could have to prevent you from getting frostbite. It's like, how... You're gonna stop you from freezing to death, you worthless piece of trash. And you're just like, please, sir, I have nothing. I'll do anything. Go out there and kill some mangy old dogs, and I'll give you some of the clothes I have lying around, you piece of trash. Like, the bar is so low. Like, the bar is don't get frostbite. But I sincerely love that. Like, I kind of hate when games start off being like, oh, that homeless ex-con that's covered in blood who clearly just murdered dozens of people. He is the chosen one. Like Skyrim, that always really bothered me, that you're like the chosen one. Where Oblivion, you just like walk out and you're just like an escaped con. And then in Skyrim, they're like, it's the Dragonborn. I was just playing Dragon's Dogma, and they're just like instantly like, oh my God, you're the chosen one. And it's like, I am, but I didn't do anything. And they're like, oh, well, you have amnesia. But like literally the other day, this dragon, he was like, bro, this is the chosen one. It just bugged me because I hadn't done anything. This one, the guy's like taking pity on you. Like, he's like, oh, you poor thing. You're gonna freeze out here. Take these hand-me-downs and get the hell out of here. You need a shower. Like, you're basically a homeless vagrant, right? And you're like, please, sir, anything. All I can do is raptor strike, sir. And look at that. I actually talked longer than it took me to get to level 2. So we are at level 2 now. All right. Easy enough. And I promise I won't talk this much for every level. Level 2 is going to be just about as easy. I'm going to finish up this quest here. Turn it in. Get that pair of gloves to stop me from getting frostbite. I'm going to turn in my hunter quest, and I get track beasts, which will be a little bit useful to make sure I'm not running into a beast around the corner, and maybe a little more helpful when I have leather working, but for now, not really that helpful. Kill some boars like I'm Cartman. Gotta kill some trogs. And just like that, I'm level 3. Level 3 is going to be pretty straightforward as well. We're going to turn in some quests. We're going to kill some indigenous species. We're going to slaughter some wildlife. We're going to collect their body parts and deliver them to butchers and ale makers and hunters. Can I just say, I think the gnome's raptor strike animation is just so adorable. Whee! Like, every time I see it, he does this little spin move, and I just want to go, whee! Whee! Yeah! We're dancing! We're having fun! Woohoo! My anus is bleeding! Woohoo! Yeah! Woo! Okay, and enough of that. Now we are going to just turn in this quest, and look at that, we're level 4. Now, have you guys ever had that happen to you, where somebody delivers you a package and then they just immediately level up right in front of you? Here are the skulls of those savage trogs you asked for. Thank you. Here's 30 copper and some old pants. I have ascended to a new plateau. Keep your feet on the ground! Level 4 is going to be where things get a little bit more complicated, and I have my first close call. Going to the trainer, we are going to get Serpent Sting, my first ranged ability, and also Aspect of the Monkey. Aspect of the Monkey is going to be super clutch. It gives me an 8% chance to dodge all attacks, and obviously that's going to be huge. Can't kill me if I'm dodging. Now, the quest I'm on is actually kind of scary. And if I was more intelligent, I think I would be just grinding lower level mobs, because these trolls are a bit difficult. And I have this quest where I need to go into these villages and grab these items. But these troll villages have a bunch of units that are like packed together. And if you pull just a little bit wrong, you can pull the entire village in one move. Which is exactly what I did here. So I accidentally pull all three of these guys, and there's definitely part of me that is thinking I made a huge mistake in retrospect. I dodged 5 times, which probably saved me around 25 to 30 life, and with that Blessing of Fortitude, those 2 aspects might have given me like the extra 40 or 50 life I needed to live here, right? But I stood my ground for some reason, and I actually fought these guys 3v1. So I'm going to turn in this quest, and the next part of this quest is in a cave, which, if you don't know, is where hardcore players go to die. So I want to talk briefly about why caves are so scary for hardcore characters. So there are a few scenarios that can happen here. So let's say you come in and every mob is there and you just clear your way through. You get to this point and you go, oh, well, I can see in there that there's some guys in there, or there's just one guy down this hallway. And I need to get to this boss. Okay, you decide, I'm not going to go into the room with the multiple mobs. I'm going to continue down this path. So you clear here, you move down, and maybe right around now, you decide, I'm going to eat and drink now. And unbeknownst to you, there's this guy who's actually a patrol. But unbeknownst to you, you resting now has begun to make him come up this way. And now that you've taken a little bit of time in here, that first guy you killed is now back. And so now you have this here and you're noticing, oh, wait, if I pull this guy, I might also pull this boss. So you start trying to plan out this thing. And then what happens right as you pull this guy? Oh, this patrol just shows up. And now you are suddenly in a spot where you are got 2 guys on you, and you have an option here. You can either A, fight it, or B, you could try to run. But if you run, by the time you get here, and you still have these guys on you, 2 has come back. So now your exit has been cut off at the pass, and you now have the patrol and this guy following you. Now, and that's not even as bad of a scenario that could have happened if this guy also got pulled. I'm not saying every cave has a patrol, but what can happen is if you get into a bad situation in a spot like this and you try to make a break for it, if you haven't cleared this out fast enough, your exit can be blocked off with new mobs completely. Now let's paint a slightly different scenario here. This scenario, and you come in and somebody's walking out of the cave, and you walk in and you go, oh, this guy already cleared it for me. Oh, okay, I can just walk right in, go through here. Oh, and my PF quest says the guy's here. So I guess I'll just wait for him to respawn. Then what happens is as you start sitting down there, all of these guys come back. Until now, you have gotten a more and more narrow passage. And then once this guy comes back, it is too late. You didn't even know that as soon as this boss card spawns right on top of you, you are actually sitting exactly between the boss and the boss guard. And you now have a 2v1 that you weren't even expecting. Let's go one other situation here, which is, let's say you've been clearing them very well. And you get to this boss and you clear him and everything's great. And now you have this clear path out and you've ignored the patrol. But as soon as you get to this spot, one of the old mobs respawns. And while you're fighting it, the rest are respawning around you. Because you did everything perfect. You did everything fine. But then you didn't do it fast enough, and now you are surrounded by units with no possible escape. So these aren't going to happen every time. These are the dangers of going to a cave for a hardcore player, because you basically always want an escape, and caves are basically designed in a way where your escape is going to be cut off. And a patrol, a misspawn, another player clearing a unit you weren't aware of, anything like that can totally throw you off and end up killing you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on hardcore caves. So when we enter this cave, we are going to have that second scenario where we are seeing someone run out and all of the mobs have been cleared, which is okay with me. We're going to head straight to the boss area, and as the mobs spawn in, we are just going to kill them as fast as we can. This turns out to not be a huge deal. The boss is medium hardness. We fight a couple of guys on the way out, Turn in the quest, and ding, that's level 5. Having reached level 5 and completing all of these quests means we are finally ready to leave the starting area and head to Dunmurrow. Doing a little delivery quest and turning in the rest of the quests we had done, we're already halfway to level 6 by the time we get through the pass and start fighting the Trogs on our way to Dunmurrow. I really am not confident on how to pronounce that. Dunmurrow. It's got to be Dunmurrow, right? Dunmurrow. We're going into Dunmurrow and we are going to collect all the quests here and turn in a few quests. And now that we're level 5, we can learn first aid, cooking, and we are almost to the leather working and skinning part that I'm so excited about. And turning in those quests and discovering the new places is actually going to bring us so close to level 6 that I decided to just head to Ironforge, turn in a quest here, and get that sweet ding. Now that we're level 6, we are going to head right on over to the skinning and the leather working trainer. And I gotta say, this is when I really love being a hunter in hardcore WoW. There's just something so RP about it. You're killing beasts, you're skinning them for their hide, you're cooking the food to feed to your animals, or maybe cooking it for bonuses to yourself. Then you're using that leather to create armor. It just feels like you are now a hunter. You're hunting animals with purpose. And in my opinion, I think every hardcore character needs to go a crafting class that can make their own armor. I just don't know how you would get gear otherwise. At the trainer, I'm going to get Arcane Shot, but because I did all that training for leatherworking and skinning, I do not have enough money to get Hunter's Mark, unfortunately, so we'll get that later. We're going to head back to Keranos, and I'm going to do a great little hardcore trick here, which is that you quest around the town, and if you get into too much danger, you can just run back and have the guards kill the animals for you. Having slain some beasts, we now have some leather. I'm going to make some light leather from those scraps and some light armor kits. And Turtle WoW has improved the light armor kits tremendously, because now they give you a stamina boost, which is going to be pretty clutch, actually. In Classic WoW, the light armor kits only give you 8 armor, and getting 32 armor at these early levels is really not going to do that much for you. It might decrease damage between like 1 and 2%, but you're on average taking around 5 to 10 damage probably. So 1 to 2% of that is a fraction of a number. It's actually not even going to be included in any damage. So those 4 extra stamina points are actually going to be more useful than the armor and increase my health by 20 points. And then eventually head over to this Yeti cave where I'm going to get my ass kicked by these Yetis. They almost took me out, but thankfully the area was clear outside and I was able to just rest up and head back in. One thing of note, I'm really glad I could skin these Yetis. I feel like they'd be something I normally couldn't. I'm not sure if that's a turtle thing or what, but being able to skin the Yetis makes sense to me. Can you imagine trying to shave a Yeti?
You could have told me Sasquatch was a dude.
Huh? But you couldn't tell?
Not until I had to shave him.
What, are you shy? Sasquatch doesn't have anything you haven't seen before?
Sasquatch is something I haven't seen before.
As soon as I get all my Yeti pelts, I head the hell out of there, and we're going to turn this quest in, and that is going to be level 7. Leopards and bears and boars. Oh my. Level 7, we're going to head to Iceflow Lake in Brunal Village. These creatures out here are level 7 and 8, and some of them kind of kick my butt. You can see here with this leopard, he's going to take me down below half health. Now 1v1, that's a little scary. That's a little scary. That means 2 of them would kill me. One great thing about the Dunmurrow area, fuck this rabbit in particular. One great thing about the Dunmurrow area in particular for a hunter and a leatherworker is there are so many quests to kill animals. There's like 3 or 4 quests to kill boars. There's like 2 or 3 to kill bears. There's like another 3 or 4 to kill leopards, and Yetis you can also skin. My skinning is already up to 40 and I got it at level 6. But that being said, this one's going to be pretty straightforward, and we are going to be fighting these creatures until we hit level 8. Level 8 is here, and we are going to get Parry, which is huge, Concussion Strike, and Raptor Strike level 2. We're going to head to Ironforge and we're going to level up some skinning and leatherworking. Again, with all of the skinning I've been doing, I've actually gotten so much leather, I'm going to get a whole new set of gear from this. Now, with this layered on leather armor, my stamina boosts from the leather kits, the 8% dodge from Aspect of the Monkey, and now parry, I'm looking at like a 14 to 15% chance on each attack, either parrying or dodging, and a 20% damage reduction, which is not bad at all. Around this level, it's not untypical to be taking about 10 damage a hit, so I'll reduce it down to 8 with a 15-ish% chance to just completely negate damage. One other thing I want to mention about this trip to Ironforge was I could not find the freaking light ammo vendor for the life of me. I searched all over that city. I talked to ammo dealers and weapon shops and stuff, and nobody had it. They had the ammo for when you're level 10 and higher, but I could not find the light ammo. That took me forever. Okay, I did eventually find it, but it was difficult. I want to head out, and I'm going to go to this area to kill some headhunters and collect some Acris Reed, I believe it is. And this area is definitely a little terrifying. These trolls like to hang out in these village clusters, and it makes it really tough to pull just one. So I want to run around and try to find isolated ones and maybe even let them just respawn rather than take a risky pull. When I head over to this village, there's actually a level 20 hardcore druid who is being way smarter than I am by going and fighting way weaker mobs, and he's just running in and clearing these villages, making it easy for me to just pick off the ones on the outskirts. Ooh, and I got Pioneer Trousers of the Monkey. That's huge. And the Druid cast Briarthorn and Mark of the Wild on me. So now I'm looking good. Thank you, good sir. You are an honorable druid. Get the last bit of the Shimmerweed. Turns out it wasn't Acris Reed, it was Shimmerweed. Totally different, same icon. I'm gonna head back to that first village and pick off some more headhunters for the quest. So after killing the final headhunter, I'm gonna check out the quest text and realize I'm supposed to fully explore a cave, which I am not gonna do right now. So I go over to do this quest in Gnomergan and realize all the mobs are level 10 and they have patrols. So I get kind of terrified and run away from this level 10. But after watching him run off into the distance and seeing how cute he looks, I guess I started feeling a bit braver because I decided to just go back and fight them. And look at this, with the Blessing of Fortitude, the Mark of the Wild, the Aspect of the Monkey. Look, there's a dodge, there's another dodge, dodge, parry, dodge. He barely did anything to me. Patrol walks away. I'm going to go try to sneak this item out. Oh, aggro mob. It's another level 10. But with all my buffs, I'm actually able to just melee this guy down. Ooh, it almost looked like he dropped that treasure chest. A health potion in there. That's great. We'll grab the quest item. And then I decide I am going to explore that cave and finish off that quest. And I clear this mob and he runs over there and I crest over this hill and see, oh my god, there's like 8 guys together in that little circle. If he would have ran a little bit further, I could be dead right now. Watch this. When this guy just does the tiniest little run away, pulls a second mob, but I'm looking good. Even though this guy's 1 level higher than me, I seem to be fine. Gonna pull this guy, and uh-oh, there was a second guy right behind that pillar. So this is what I'm saying about the caves. Like, how was I supposed to have seen that guy? You don't want to walk up close enough to see him. And there's a third guy right there that could have easily gotten pulled there. Gonna push in slowly but steadily. In the caves, again, you have to keep moving. If you stick around too long, they'll respawn right on you. Wow, yeah, if that guy would have just moved a little bit sooner, I would have had another 2 mobs on me. We're gonna clear this level 10. Apparently I have no fear at this point, and that'll be level 9. Level 9 is definitely the scariest level so far. And at the bottom of this ledge, you'll notice there are 2 mobs that are kind of close together, and there's this big room filled with trolls. And I'm kind of trying to figure out what the best way through this room is. So I pick out this one guy, but these other mobs are too close together to pick out just one. So I think maybe I can run around, and that's when I see the Grave of Chipoten, a level 10 hardcore player that died right there. And I think he must have tried this exactly. And I get terrified and kind of start running away. And then I go, wait, maybe I can run around. So I decided I'm going to try to run around, and that doesn't work. So I get freaked out and I run out of the cave and thankfully lose aggro right before having to run into the respawns. So eventually I'm like, okay, you know what? Fuck this. After I hunter's mark and decide, thinking I'm going to fight these 2. And then I go, you know what? No, it's not worth the risk. But you can see already they're starting to respawn right behind me. As I'm running out, I notice another hunter going in. And I think, well, maybe she's got a pet already. Maybe she can help clear these out. She's not a hardcore player, but I could follow her through the dungeon. Already, mobs are coming back. Mobs I literally just killed. I decide I'm going to just partner up with her even though she's not hardcore. And to not be a jerk, I am letting her get every first hit and just following her around. Thank you, Naru. Once I get that exploration, I am out of here. Sorry, Chipotin. You will not be forgotten. Again, I think you guys see what I'm saying here. Like, I just killed these mobs. I'm leaving and they're already back. And once I see two mobs that are in danger of being pulled spawn right next to me, I decide I'm just going to make a break for it. Because I have a death wish. It's definitely a bit scary to have a bunch of guys chasing you off into the forest, but I live. Then as I'm walking through, I notice this quest giver. I don't know if I've ever seen him before. And hey, Naru shows up. He gives you two quests, one that's really close and one for an elite, but I have no idea where that is. Oh, Naru must be doing this quest. Let's go follow her. Get the dried meats, head on out of the cave, only to see her being chased by that very elite for the quest. Old Icebeard just chasing her down. Oh my god. Turn this quest, and then I'm going to head to the Gold Bolar Quarry. Go down to the quarry and immediately notice a hardcore grave for a level 14. And I start to get a little nervous, wondering if there's something I don't know about this area. At this point, I'm still feeling pretty confident. And even in this 2v1, I feel okay. But as I get to this cave, I notice another hardcore grave and another hardcore grave. And one of them is for a level 15. And there's another one in there. And I'm just like, this is dumb. I should not do this. And when that guy walked up behind me, he literally scared the shit out of me. I thought I was dead. But he's like a level 60 walking through a level 9. And I start to feel a little safer thinking there's a level 60 character here just protecting a level 8 character. And he tells me, he goes, I will help you get to 10. And he tells me, shoot. So I started blasting. And every time I shoot something, he just fires in. And look at this area, another 2 hardcore gravestones right there. I tell him, you are a godsend. And thanks to the way he's doing it, I am getting XP for all these kills. And I'm looking for this gem. I really don't know where it is. And he's being super cool and super patient, even when I seem to be totally lost. And I get to the end of the cave where the boss is standing. He's got the gem I need. It's a level 12 and he kills it in one shot. Walking by these graves and just thinking like, literally what a godsend this guy was. This cave could have killed me easily. So thank you again, Tolme. And I hit level 10. Am I crazy, or was that the smallest level up burst you've ever seen? Is this okay, like, to accept help like this on a hardcore? I think yes and no. I did it and I felt good about the time because I was so terrified of this cave. World of Warcraft is a social game, and there is a social element. You can get help from other people, but hardcore you're not supposed to. This is kind of against the rules, honestly. Hopefully you guys are okay with me doing it for one level, maybe a couple levels. You know, I think it's sort of a gray area, but when somebody offers you help like that, I think when you're playing hardcore, you are constantly in a state of desperation and you should take all the help you can get. I don't know, maybe you guys are going to judge me for it, but it is what it is. Alright guys, well, if you are still watching this, thank you for watching. I was going to do this video as level 1 to 20, but this kind of took me so long, so I ended up just doing levels 1 to 10. But next video will be Catmandu level 10 to 20, and I guess I'll start working on that soonish. So what did we learn level 1 to 10? You know, this is my 5th hardcore character, and I think I've learned a little thing about hardcore each time, but I think we should end with some resolution. And I think if I had to pick a lesson for Catmandu level 1 to 10, I would say be social. World of Warcraft is a social game, and I know hardcore can feel really isolating, but it really only gives you social limitations. It doesn't necessarily discourage social behavior. And remember, only half of players make it to level 14. If you make it to level 30, there's only about 4% of hardcore players left. And if you make it to level 50, there's less than 1% of hardcore players left. So it's gonna get more and more lonely the higher you get. So in those early levels, be social, hang out with people. I've discovered the hardcore community is actually super supportive of one another. Make sure you're giving buffs to each other. Support the other hardcore players, group up, and have a great time. If you're not having fun with it, then there is no reason you should be doing this. The only reason you should be playing hardcore is to have fun. So be nice, be supportive, be social. All right, until the next video, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you think I've earned it, hit a button, do a subscribe thing. I'm going to try to do these more and more, so if you like and subscribe, it kind of encourages me to do that. Thank you. Dude, get out of my shot.